yourself. Thanks for clicking on this brand new video. My name is Maria and I talk all things money on this channel. For today, I will be going over my 2025 goals and the mid-year checking that I did promise at the beginning of the year that I would be doing halfway through the year or so. It is mid-July, and so I am going to be focusing on my professional and my wealth/finance goals for 2025 for this particular video. If you guys are curious to watch the goals that I actually set, along with the reasons as to why I set them for the beginning of the year, money related and professional, I did create that video back at the beginning of the year, which I'll post right over here. If you guys weren't aware that I posted those, or if you guys have forgotten and needed a little refresher, it is right over here. You guys can click on this video and check out what I have said and set for myself at the beginning of the year for 2025. So I will be going over the mid-year check-in, like I said, how things are going for those particular areas of my life, how am I progressing through them, if there's any like troubling issues that I keep recurring, how am I going through those to just get out of those basically. And then I did do that for my personal channel. If you guys were not aware, I do have my original channel, which I started when I was a teenager. I do have that. I do post on this channel a little bit more frequently just because of the niche topics that are in this type of channel, like money, payroll, and budgeting and stuff like that. I'm not a financial advisor, but it is something that we all get affected by. And so however way that my videos may help you, then hooray, but it is not to be taken as professional advice. However, I do have my personal channel, or my OG channel, where I post more about like life related things or whatever it is. I did make those goals for 2025 for different areas of my life, so if you want to check that out, I will also leave it right over here. I will just post my channel right over here, but I am going to be making 2025 goals check-in for mid-year as well over there, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are interested. And of course, before moving forward with this channel little topic or whatever that we're doing today, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I hope that you guys liked the video coming up, and if you did and you haven't done so already, if you're a returning viewer and you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're doing. If you haven't clicked that button down below and or subscribed to the channel, make sure to do so. Not only does it help the channel grow, but it also makes me happy, and who doesn't want to see both of those things take place? So yeah, without further ado, let's just get started with the 2025 goals, the mid-year checking for 2025, and just how things are going. Let's walk things through. So like I said, this is for my professional, my wealth, and my finance related goals. I will mention that the only completed goal that I have for this year before going into the other ones, because I haven't actually read all the things that I had written down, I do want to mention my completed goal was to move all my income into my high yield savings account bank. I do use EQ Bank. Any referral links to the products or the services that I use are down below in the description box. Check them out if you're in Canada, because it could give you like little perks here and there, and of course I get a little kickback out of it too. One of those things is the EQ Bank platform. EQ Bank is an online bank for just regular day banking. I believe they also have like investments and business banking, but anyways, I do use that for my payroll, and so I do get accrued interest. So if you guys are interested in just having your money sit in your bank account without accruing interest, that's on you. I would rather it be something that is making me money at the end of every month, even if it's just like $3 here and there. At the end of the year, that can build up and it's just money sitting there anyways. Why not use it in an account that it can build you interest in your favor? And so it is downstairs in the description box if you guys want to check it out, along with other things. But I did move all my income into there, like my payroll automatically gets deposited into my EQ Bank account, and then I only have my other big 5 bank account to get the money that the government gives me for the children. So that's the only goal that has been completed for now. Let's go into the career goals, which is the first section that I have. As you guys saw at the beginning of the year, but just like a little debrief, I did have these goals here, and this one is the completed sections that I did just mention. For career, my first goal was to research different ways to make passive income. I actually did research keyword research. I did research the different ways that you can make passive income here in Ontario, specifically in the Toronto region. There's different things that I've looked at the beginning of the year. I was searching up a lot of things, such as whether investments with dividends and stuff like that is a form of passive income. The thing is that my investments are not so huge that they can actually make a relatively impactful passive income source, and so that's that. And then I was also researching even like vending machines and like laundry mats. Is that what they're called? Like laundry mats? Those places that you can do your laundry at and stuff. I was thinking of like actually researching more deeply into it, because I feel like honestly the biggest headache that comes with is maintenance and getting, I think it's like an LLC. I forgot what it's called, but basically you're an incorporation or you're like a sole business for that vending machine placed in that particular site, such as like whether it's like a laundromat or a hotel and they don't have vending machines or whatever it is. Did you know that vending machines are actually usually not owned by the incorporation that actually has them located in there? For example, if you have an airport, the vending machines typically belong to other people outside of the airport, not actual owners of the airport or the managers of the airport or whatever putting them in there. So that's pretty cool. Something that I found out at the beginning of the year. Anyways, going back to the actual goal itself, I did research the different ways. So I would say that that's actually a completed goal. However, the next step would be to implement some of those strategies that I found out at the beginning of the year. So I'm actually going to write here to implement some strategies to actually, and I'm going to underline actually, make passive income with more research to like confirm, you know, like the little ins and outs of every single thing that I may choose to do. Okay, the next, I don't think in terms of career there's any other things besides some that I touched upon in my other video from my other channel, which is right over here. Like I said, in terms of like modeling and stuff, my contract with the modeling agency that I was a part of got terminated, not for any particular reason. It's just the timeline that got reached. It was more than a year after I signed with them, I should say, and so that got terminated. I would like to see if I can make income, although this is not passive, to make income from like different sources. If I could get like my channels monetized and stuff like that, that'd be pretty cool. However, obviously I'm in such low numbers that I don't think that's gonna happen by the end of 2025, but God willing, if something were to pop up, like whether sponsorships or whatever, again, with the numbers that I have, I don't think that's gonna happen. However, hey, all is possible if you give to God, and so let's see how things go. But with the modeling agency, I do want to research some more about, this would be active, like I said, not passive, but seeing if I can get into the modeling agency once again, not the same one that I was at before, but just exploring different avenues for me to explore not only that money potential dream, but also that like aspiration that I have to yeah, be behind camera, because I'm already behind this camera. It's all cute or whatever, but it's not necessarily the camera that I want to be in front of, you know what I'm saying? Let's keep on working on that, but we'll see. The next goal category that I have is money in my accounts. Again, not sure how I want to rename that, but it is what it is. I mentioned here that all my income to go into EQ Bank for bills, and then my big bank account to only have buffer for withdrawal, which is indeed the completed goal that I mentioned before. I'm not sure if there's any other goal that I can really mention in here. That's already completed, and so I'm not sure if there's anything else that I can implement on that category, so I'll just leave that blank. I don't think there's any new, revised, or updated goals that I need to put on there, and so we'll just move on to the next category, which is money movement. Money movement here, the first goal was to cash envelope budgeting, so I'm guessing it said like to start cash envelope budgeting and tracking. I have continuously done that, so I'm actually going to mark that off as complete, but well, I'll just continue implementing that, so that's fine. And then here it says to pay towards debt aggressively and get all credit cards down by 7K. So hear me out. The only reason why it's impossible at this point to mark off this as complete is the fact that I have made more than $7,000 to each of my credit cards throughout the year. I have made more than that, and they still haven't gone down all that much because of continuous use. So the credit balance does continue going up or going down because I have used more of the credit card, and therefore the room that I have for available credit is lower. Not only is it impossible to basically pay that down because I am continuously using the cards for necessities and stuff, and not like I'm splurging on things. I'm buying my groceries, I'm paying for gasoline and all those things. Not only is it that I'm using them so they don't necessarily go down, but also with some credit cards that I have, the interest is so high and the balance on it, because of different life circumstances that have happened, is so high that the monthly interest payment that I make is literally neglecting anything that I make towards paying down the credit card balance. So for example, let's say that in a credit card, let's say that I owe $30,000 on it and the interest is 20%. That means that roughly every single month, just in interest, I am paying about $400 to $600 depending on the month or whatever, just in interest. So even if I'm paying $1,000 every single month towards paying down this credit card, in net I'm only paying around $500, because if, let's just keep it simple, if the interest payment that I make every single month, that just gets charged into the account, by the way, is $500, and I'm paying $1,000 to bring it down, $500 that is keeping me from lowering my interest all that much, minus the $1,000 that I'm actually going to pay towards the balance, that's a movement of negative $500, meaning I'm only really seeing a movement going down by $500. So that being said, my credit cards stay high and until like I figure something else out to make passive income or to get like a second source of income or whatever it is, I'm gonna stay here. Sorry guys, I just took some time to input the goal, but I just said here to change my strategy to pay down the balance of my accounts in an avalanche hybrid method. Let me explain. As you guys may have heard in the financial community or whatever, I'm not a financial advisor, like I said before, so please do your own due diligence and research. I forget who mentioned this. Is his name Dave Ramsey? Like, this is how like out of touch I am with something. I just learned it from like different people, but I'm not actually paying attention. I just kind of take what is applicable to me and how it works in my life and how I can implement it. But I believe it's somebody named Dave Ramsey. He came up with the idea of tackling out debt in either two ways: the avalanche method, I believe it's called, and then the snowball method. Very quickly and very plain terms, the avalanche method is more dramatic, like an avalanche, and therefore the point of it is to pay down the debt with the highest interest, because that's what's eating away at your money quickest. And so with the avalanche method, you get rid of like the highest interest rate debt that you have, whether a credit card or line of credit or whatever it is. Get rid of that, and then it dramatically will improve your credit score and your credit history and stuff like that, because you're getting rid of the highest one first. Not necessarily highest balance, but the one with the highest interest rate, which obviously with a higher interest rate, that comes with higher interest payments at the end of the month. Now, of course, if you have a high interest rate on a high kind of maxed out balance credit card where you have like a high balance in general, that obviously is especially important to get rid of if you're trying to use the avalanche method, because not only are you paying down the huge balance that you have on a particular credit card, but also paying down the huge interest rate that is on that credit card or line of credit or whatever it is. Yeah, I'm gonna change my strategy to kind of do a hybrid of that with the snowball method, because with the snowball method, in very plain terms, like I said before, is that you begin with the lowest interest rate credit card or loan or debt in general, because once you get rid of that one, it's kind of like a snowball effect. You want to get rid of other bigger ones, and so it kind of gives you like a sense of accomplishment because you were able to pay it off even though it was just like a smaller interest rate or the smallest balance, and then you move on to bigger giants that you need to get rid of. And so the reason why I'm doing a hybrid is because I still want to focus on paying down past the minimum balance of every single one of my credit cards or loans or line of credits or whatever it is, but I do want to heavily put in more than half of my month payroll. I want to put it towards my highest interest and my highest balance credit card, which happens to be one for myself. So I want to aggressively put more towards that one. That being said, I have to kind of work out my numbers and obviously not get so frustrated that things don't work out, or two, get discouraged because things are not working out and then I just go back to like bad money habits or something. And so I want to be able to do a hybrid to be able to figure out what works best to attack all types of credit cards that I have, but mainly focusing on avalanching the highest balance and the highest interest card, but also tackling the low ones too, and not just the monthly minimum balance due. And hopefully, that being said, I can tackle more than just the 7,000 that I proposed at the beginning of the year for each one of my cards, but also the way that this is going down, because the interest rate will be lower because my balance is lower, I'm hoping that I'm able to pay it off actually sooner. So that's the plan. Fingers crossed. And then the other category that I have here is just YouTube. For this one, YouTube, I guess I put it in professional and wealth and finance because eventually who doesn't want their YouTube channel to be monetized? I just put here to post at least one video every 2 weeks. Bonus if you post shorts also. So for this channel in particular, because I do have 2 YouTube channels, like I said, this channel in particular, I have been doing really well with posting shorts basically daily. It's now kind of dying down because things are tight around here, and there does come a time with like ups and downs of like money waves and stuff like that with your income, with your savings, etc. But I have been doing really well to post shorts basically on a daily basis, if not like minimum 3 or 4 a week. So good for me for doing that. And then post one video every 2 weeks minimum. For this channel in particular, I have been able to post a video every single week since the beginning of the year, except for 1 week, I believe, which was in July. And that's just because like things happened or whatever. I got busy with some of the things and I was overwhelmed with a whole bunch of different areas. And so I didn't do that week. However, like every single other week, I then did it, you know what I'm saying? And so that's that. With my other channel, I don't post shorts all that often because again, it's the type of topics that I touch upon on that channel. I can't really make short content, and if I can, I haven't come up with it yet. And then the other channel, in terms of like long videos, I have been doing, at the beginning of the year, I was doing pretty well. I think it was until like maybe like April or May, I ran out of things to post, pre-scheduled videos and stuff like that, like longer videos. And so I've been doing vlogs here and there, different videos for different topics, even Christian related content somewhat. So check me out if you like those type of things. Check me out over here, like I said before, for It's My Weeks. That's my original channel, like I said. For that one, I haven't been doing a video even like once a month after that high wave kind of went away. I think since in the past 3 months, I've been able to do 2 or 3 videos. So that's roughly 1 video a month on average. For YouTube in particular, I don't necessarily want to plan out my videos ahead of time because it just creates like an extra work that, not that I mind doing it, but given the other areas of my house and my life and my family that I have to take care of, sometimes it's not that feasible. And so I'm just gonna say to continue exactly that. Post at least 1 video every 2 weeks, specifically for my other channel, just because this one is a little bit easier to like find things to talk about. It is a money related channel, so whether I'm talking about budgeting, that's one thing. If I'm talking about cash budgeting and all the different areas like condensing, stuffing and unstuffing, that's in itself 5 different topics that I can just talk about when it comes to budgeting. There's also money trackers. This check-in video in itself is another topic that I know I'm gonna be doing in December, you know what I mean? So there's just different things that with this channel is a little bit easier than with the other one, and therefore I'm gonna stick to my channel goals being about the same, and then we'll see from there as things go. Actually, after writing the goal that I have for YouTube, another thing that I actually wanted to see what I can get into is selling digital products online. Let me just quickly write that into my notes here, because I do notice that there's a lot of repetition, and it's just about the creator. If you really are fond of a particular creator, they can have the same product as somebody else, but if that's your bestie, if that's your like friend or whatever, even if you have multiple of the same thing, you will support that person. And so I want to see how I can get into selling digital products for a particular thing that I'm working on, and I actually started like working on it on the computer, not necessarily Etsy. I want to see how Ko-Fi goes, because Ko-Fi, I know, it's a donation driven website, and so I think that the seller seller is able to get a little bit more of the money that the person pays. I don't know how much Etsy takes, but I do obviously know that them, and I think Shopify, instead of it being a subscription thing, Etsy, what it does is takes a portion of the product sale to them. And so I don't know how much that is. I don't know if it's 6%, I don't know if it's 60%, but I know that it does impact people just because of like what people say here online. It does take a huge pay cut to Etsy just to have a platform. And so I want to see how Ko-Fi goes, because I know Ko-Fi, people usually sell freebies on there as well. And if it is freebies, people are able to donate. I know because I have donated on Ko-Fi as well. And so let me see what I can do with that. But that is just something else that I just added right now. Selling digital products. So if it can help other people, and if I can sell it for a more affordable price than some other people, then by all means, if you want to print it, if you want to do whatever, I need to research on how to do things on Ko-Fi. I want to make sure that I understand how to do those things before I mess up for myself. That's basically it. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. I did just go ahead and finish my check-in for you guys for this video in terms of my finances, my money, and my professional related goals. I hope that you guys really enjoyed the video. And yeah, let me know downstairs in the comments, how have your goals for these particular areas in your life been for this year? I know Hustle and Flow's Co, aka Michelle Vu, a dear friend of mine here on YouTube, I know that her goal for her cash budgeting, I believe, was to save $15,000. I believe in cash, but maybe she meant like to save them in like different accounts as well. So that's a huge goal to work towards, whether it's that or you're working towards some of the goals similar that I have here, whether it's paying off debt, increasing your savings, buying a house, buying your second house, or whatever it is. I want to know your goals down below if you guys want to share those, and that way we can start a little community. That'd be great to know. And also for accountability, that's obviously the main reason why I'm making this video, is to keep myself accountable from the goals that I wrote to myself in the beginning of the year, and to see how things are going mid-year. And obviously we'll see how they are at the end of the year, whether I do it last week of December or first week of January of 2026. We shall see how things wrap up for this year. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope that you guys, like I said, enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure not only give me a big thumbs up, but also share with your family and friends, to anybody who you think may benefit from this video. And besides that, guys, I hope that you guys stick around by subscribing to the channel down below. If you click the button, it not only helps the channel grow, but it also makes me happy. And until next time, guys, I will just close off the video with the verse of the day like I usually do. Here it is right here. I hope that it touches your life in whatever way it is applicable to it. May God reveal his power and his love for you in whatever verse that I choose to display for you guys. Read up on it and learn a little bit about your Lord Jesus Christ. That pretty much wraps up this video. I love you guys, and until next time, stay blessed. Bye.